What's good, y'all? Well, it's my review for this week's episode of JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, Diamond is Unbreakable. This episode, once again, fucking phenomenal. That clutch with that Koichi, you also got the... I really think the new stand news we have for this episode. He had a very, definitely interesting stand, and I really liked how it worked and operated and stuff. So yeah, let us begin. So we got this dude just chilling, minding his own damn business, where he is, listening to the radio at about, I think it was 1 in the morning is what the clock said. And, he's just chilling. He has a bunch of girls in bikinis on his wall. He is a teenage boy, after all, but you don't see me put that kind of shit in my room. But whatever floats your boat. Whatever, that ain't my room to judge. But then he takes a mechanical pencil and gouges out his eye, blood spewing everywhere. Okay, we don't see him actually gouge out his eye because we see that later on, but he did take a mechanical and shove it somewhere, and then a bunch of blood just starts splashing all over the place. We then over back to Josuke with Koichi, and we actually find that Tadamahi, that's how you pronounce his name. Actually knows that there's another stand who actually the same school Josuke attends. You guys may remember that there was this guy that Jotaro was speaking to. I want to say it was last week's, or maybe it was the week before. When Jotaro was on the phone, he's like, "So you're a high school student?" He's like, "What does that have to do with it?" You know that whole scene. We found that same kid. And his name is Toshihazu Haramahi, and he actually had a falling out with a friend of his right before the spring semester began, and so we find then of course he retells Josuke and Koichi the event we saw earlier about the dude gouging out his eye, and so then he actually tells us that when he came to, he said that he was staring into his eye on the pencil with his only eye he had left. And I mean, that must be some freaky shit. See, you just come to one day and you're looking at your fucking eye, and then you notice your other eye is gone. Oh, that is not something you want to wake up to. No. And so, of course, they're cringing. Oh God, no. And then we also find out that Tamahi, the dude, has actually gotten himself a job. Yes. And he's no longer trying to swindle people out of their shit by leaving cats in streets and then bribing them, and then trying to bribe them or something to get the money. He ain't doing that. He said he got a gig in finance. And Koichi's like, "You're a loan shark, aren't you?" He's like, "Well, let's just say it's not." But me personally, I feel like he probably is a loan shark. Just given his track record, he is most likely a loan shark, and I doubt he would actually do something legitimate. Actually have a legitimate business, doing something legitimate in finance. He's he's probably a loan shark or something, and. So they end up going back, and so then they go inside to check up and try to find this guy, because he actually shows them also off a picture. And then we actually find, one thing I actually forgot to mention, is that we also see that apparently the reason they had a falling out was because this dude dissed one of his favorite, dissed his favorite anime or idol or something. Yes, he killed a friend of his after he dissed his idol or favorite anime. I know some of y'all are probably Jesus Christ, that's fucking petty as shit. Well, welcome to the anime community. We can be pretty petty. I mean, if any of you guys are fans of RPG manga, he has a series on his channel called the Fandom Files, where it pretty much just does videos on all sorts of fandoms, showing off the worst they've had, and of course talking about the good occasionally here and there with some, but mostly just discuss about how shit some of the people in the fandoms can be. And in some of those, I forget the exact ones. I think maybe it was Italia and a couple extra shows. I forget exactly which ones were. People were they wouldn't go so far as to kill someone, but they would go way out of their way to do some stupid, crazy shit just because a person dissed that show. I'm dead ass serious. It's crazy what some people do. I mean, I love FMA, I love SAO, I love a lot of controversial shows that a lot of people seem to hate, but you don't see me pulling this shit. I'm also a fan of the new Spider-Man 2. It's my favorite Spider-Man, yet you don't see me, sending out witch hunts for people to say, Spider-Man 2 is better or something. it's his opinions, but some motherfuckers just take everything way too damn personal. Anyway, so they start looking for him. They end up not being able to find it, but they look at the lockers, where we find out that this dude actually, where we find a mannequin, or not really a mannequin. It's one of like those. I guess you can say it's a wooden mannequin. It's the ones like, you know, they're usually a lot smaller. That if any of you guys are in like an art class, you guys have probably seen them. But just remember those if they're like life size. And like, ugh, what the fuck is this? You know, what Josuke's like, whoa, what the fuck is this? Why is this in the flower? Whatever. But then Josuke realizes you can't. Then the mannequin actually turns into Josuke. It's just still chilling in the lot and it's just living and just chilling like inside the locker. And like, what the fuck? Why is it me now? I just looked at it, and then we find out that this puppet can now control Josuke, and it's of course, you know, Hanamada's. Yeah, which actually one thing I forgot. While Josuke was you know, raiding those lockers, we found Hanamada's locker. He pulled out. There was a bunch of stuff that fell out. You know, tennis rackets, and including a volume of Weekly Shonen Jump. You know, the actual like, you know, Shonen Jump magazine. Not one of the mangas, just like the actual magazine itself. And on the cover, I swear to God, it's JoJo. I feel like it's like maybe part 8 or something. I don't know. I looked at the art style, and knowing this is JoJo, I had a feel there probably is like it is JoJo, and this is just kind of reference to the manga. I don't know if it is or not, so if any of you guys can like confirm whether or not that was actually JoJo on that cover, or not, tell me down below. Anyway, so back to the episode. Hanamada comes, we find out Hanamada, and of course we find out that his stand is called Show Up, and he pretty much can, like, you know, if he like touches someone, or if like say a person touches Hanamada's stand, you know, the puppet or the mannequin, it can of course become that person, sound like him, and pretty much just become a complete copy of him. While if he also looks at you while he's copying you, he also can completely control. So it's like a mixture of like shapeshifting with, like, say Shikamaru's shadow possession jutsu. It's kind of like a mixture between those two. And so now that Hanamada has this advantage over our boy Josuke, he of course tries to kill him the same way that, or not kill him, but at least immobilize him the way he killed his friend, with a mechanical pencil. He uses his copy to, like, you know, have him, like, first has him, like, you know, knock out Koichi, like, uses him to, like, pretty much just, like, you know, take his arm, his forearm, and just have it hit, like, probably as hard as he can, Koichi's throat, and just send him flying into a door. Just send him flying where Koichi is now knocked out. And then we get back to Josuke, or then he gets him to take the mechanical pencil and shove it into his eye. It doesn't go directly into his eye, but it's kind of like around the eyelid or eye area. Not exactly in the eye, but close enough that if he did win, that it could definitely sever the nerve, and hence, you know, he would be blind in that one eye if it hit the right spot. So he ends up hitting it there. We see him, like, he thinks he dies. Josuke, of course, and then Josuke falls to the floor, assuming that he's either dead or immobilized, or, you know, one of those two. And they're like, yeah, alright, everyone, get my bag and let's go find Jotaro. If I remember correctly, he's in the Morio Grand Hotel, so let's over there. So this mannequin grabs his bag, and you can actually notice the mannequin is a mannequin because he actually has a screw right in the middle of his head, which I sometimes I notice when I rewatch the episode. I noticed that. So that's a good, nice little way to, like, you know, definitely tell who is who. You know, Josuke and the mannequin. Josuke gets up because it was actually, and then we find out that actually on the mannequin there's actually like this there's this kanji on it. I forget what it said. I don't think it even said what it was. And we find out that was actually the work of Koichi Stan, which was probably also the work of Koichi Stan to help him think that, you know, help him fake Josuke's death, or have him fake, you know, that Josuke was indeed out for the count. So we also find out that actually when Josuke hit Koichi in the throat, he managed to have enough time for him to use Shining Diamond to, of course, heal Josuke, to heal up Koichi's injuries that happened with the throat. But then actually, when the guy, like, you know, celebrating, like, you know, thanks Koichi, you saved my ass. Koichi, I'm like, hey Josuke, you mind healing the injuries I got? But I hit the door. I don't mean to be bothered, but I'm in a lot of pain right now, bro. It's like, yeah, man, I got you. So he heals up. We get to Jotaro, where he's actually the dude is calling Josuke to tell him like meet him at the Grand Central Station, and he's like to tell him about the this new stand use and everything, yada 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 yada. He of course agrees. He's like, okay, I'll be down there. So then we end up going, and then we actually see while they're walking down, we see that actually Josuke, because he is indeed Josuke, and Josuke has about as much look as the ladies and as much as Jotaro did back in part 3. All the girls like, oh, good night, Josuke, good night, Josuke, because for some reason, I guess it's Josuke's hair, because like all these girls want Josuke's dick. They don't. I feel like it's his hair. Or maybe it's just his looks. I don't know. Maybe it's a combination of the two. Because with Jotaro, I didn't really see why all this would have, other than they just like the whole being treated like shit attitude. Yeah. Because remember back in the first episode of Part 4, when Josuke told those girls that they were bitches and to get the fuck out, they were actually blushing. So I don't know if girls just like being treated like shit, or at least these teenagers do in the world of JoJo. Anyway, so they're all like, oh, good night, Josuke, good night, Josuke, yada, yada, yada. And the dude's actually kind of low-key, and how about low-key kind of jealous because Josuke's getting all the bitches, yet he's getting jack shit. And one of the girls like, oh, it's Josuke, and it's a love letter, and the dude grabs it and starts like ranting as he's staring at him, like, get the fuck, you don't need the shit. It's like and then he talks about how this one time he actually used his stand to have his girl to turn into his crush he had, but his crush ended up turning into a massive bitch. Or at least a mannequin version of his crush ended up turning into a massive bitch, so that was a flop. So this dude definitely got like some jealousy issues, and maybe even it probably has some jealousy issues that he doesn't like when, even though he kind of understands where he can copy someone, it doesn't end up helping him. He's still, if anything, it makes him even more jealous because everything Stan is getting all the credit, yet he's getting jack shit, So that's a nice little thing I can add it to that. And then we see these two bikers. They're just like again, the dude Hamad touched his bike and like, oh, that little shit, he touched my bike. Look at it, he stuffed it up. He's like, oh, I don't. What? You think I care right here? Yeah, living like that, looking like a grasshopper on a death march. It was something like that. I remember it was something about a death march, and that's where he starts. And then the dude takes Josuke's stand and just has them beat the living shit out of him. One of the guys knocks him out, and then the other guy, the one that was talking shit about the death march and everything, he uses his stance actually hold the dude up, and then he grabs out a box cutter and does some stuff in his mouth. They don't show what he actually is. So I don't know if he said he was gonna make sure he doesn't talk again. So I don't know if he cut his tongue out, which he didn't because we hear him talking later on. So his tongue did cut out. Did he just swirl around his mouth or something? I don't know what the hell he did. But then we get back to Josuke where they're actually starting to catch up with him. So then a glass shard is sent hurling towards Hazamada. His stand manages to catch it, but then Josuke and Koichi come out of the shadows out of the corner they were. They're like, Josuke, Koichi. Oh, seems like they survived the attack. And then they notice that the pieces of glass are starting to come together. Or then Josuke, of course, tells them that piece of glass, it wasn't meant for you. It was meant so it can all turn back to its original shape, and of course, turns back into a bottle, cuts off Hazamada Stan's right arm, bam, clean off, and the rest of his arm was turned back into wood. So they go back in the corner months of the confusion, and then Hazamada's like, oh, my hand is back to wood, this isn't good, Hazamada, just put it in your pocket, you fool, no one will know. So he does that, and they're like, by this point, Josuke and Jotaro's probably on the station, let's go. So they get back, so they're on their way to the station to, of course, meet Jotaro and, of course, kill him. Josuke and Koichi overhear this while they were hiding behind the corner, know what they were doing, and they're like, okay, we gotta go, they're gonna have a star, plus the road they took was the fast way to the station, and Josuke's like, don't worry, I got a secret weapon, which of course was Koichi's stand. So we see them running over there, they get to the train station, there's this little background train station, of course, usually most train stations, there's usually this area where it tracks over to, a street, where they usually have, these little, signs where they say stop and stop, the train's coming or whatever, the usual stuff. So they're like, oh crap, we can't wait any longer. Let's go take the other way. And they go up this up these stairs to another way to the train station. So they kind of look outside like the little area, like the little hallway that connects to the train station. And like, all right, if they come here, they'll be too late. The train will come at them. And then we see Josuke and Koichi just go through and straight through like it's nothing. Which of course we find out that was all the work Koichi said, because as we know, Koichi Stan works with sound, I guess, like he creates sound effects. It's like his stand, so of course he makes the bean sounds like trains coming. And so that Josuke and Koichi managed to get to Jotaro first, thankfully. I'm assuming he tells him everything about Hazamada, his stand, and everything, all that, this, that, and the other. He's like, okay, a stand that can copy you down to your fingerprints. And so they're like, okay, we need and Koichi's like, we need to go. We weren't that much farther ahead of them, so they should be coming here any minute now. So Jojo kind of looks away, but while they're talking, Josuke actually takes a pen out of his pocket. And then Josuke realizes, like, what the fuck am I doing with this pen? Why do I have a pen? And then we see in the mirror, and then he knows he can't move his arm. He looks at the mirror, or by the glass, but next to him, to like the building. And right by his shadow, Hazamada Stan moves out of the way, realizing he is now in control, and of course he is now trying to get him to kill Jotaro with the pen. Seriously, what is Hazamada and killing people with pens or mechanical pencils? Like, why does he like killing people with pens or so? Granted, he talks about how, as Josuke can heal people from their injuries, but cannot revive the dead. So he ends up saying, he's going to aim that pen and go right through his brain, which enough from the blunt trauma will, of course, kill him instantly, in turn making it that possible for Josuke to revive him. So he kind of fights with him. He's like, duh, but they try to talk, and then Hazamada makes his mouth shut so that Josuke can speak. Or so he can't tell Josuke to run or look out, I'm about to stab you, none of that shit. And so he's like, but then the biker dude show up out of nowhere, grabbing it, and it ends in typical amazing JoJo fashion, where of course the villain of the episode gets his comeuppance. I love it when JoJo does it's so satisfying when Araki does this in JoJo, and I loved how Araki even did that in part 3 with Dio, but he got turned it on its head, where Jotaro was beating up Dio, and you thought Jotaro won, but it ended up all he did was just put him right in front of of Joseph, meaning that he of course became immortal also. I love that Araki, even though he does do this, and this is kind of like a staple of JoJo, he's like, yeah, I'm not gonna keep it from every time, I'm gonna change it up a bit and keep you guys on your toes. So I like that he did that with part 3, but of course it's a simple JoJo fan where he gets his comeuppance, they're like, yeah, well, there's something behind the bathroom that we just need to show you, which I don't know in which context I'm going to take that. Is he going to beat the living shit out of him behind the bathroom? Or do something else? Anyway. Oh, we also find out that, what's his name? The dude that's probably a loan shark now. We actually found out that he also got his ass beat by Hazamada Stan earlier in the episode. I forgot to talk about that. But of course, he was admitted to the hospital, so I'm assuming that's fine. I'm curious if he's actually going to stay as a little bit of a supporting character, minor supporting character that appears here and there throughout the episode. Because in the way I kind of do, because he is irritating to watch, but at the same time, I could care less because he is indeed an asshole for all the shit he did put Joseph and Josuke and Koichi through. Oh my god! And one thing I also gotta mention, Koichi. It seems like he's gonna keep the Saiyan hair. It's not as pointed upwards as it was before. It's kind of more messy, like he forgot to comb his hair, so it kind of has more of a messy look to it rather than the full-fledged Saiyan hair he had a little bit ago. Which I'm glad he's at least keeping this hairstyle, because in my personal opinion, Koichi looks so much more badass with this hairstyle with his hair kind of up. And then while he's getting turned to the ambulance, we see one of the light points, the stand that actually killed Okuyasu's bro. He appears with a bow and arrow and everything. He's like, And so the episode ends up with just him showing off, and then of course we end up with this really damn good shot of Koichi and Jotaro. And it was a damn good shot. I'll probably end up using it in the thumbnail if I can, because it was a really damn good shot. I love that shot. And that is where the episode ends. So overall, this was a damn good episode. I really dig Hazamada. He's a character. I really dig his stand. from the way it can copy it. And in a way, it's almost kind of like it kind of reminded me of the character Duel, I believe his name was, back in Hero Walker, where he can create clones of himself. But of course, because he creates so many clones, the clones kind of wonder or thinking that who's who, so they end up killing each other. And then so the Duel, or what, I forget the dude's name actually. Or I think it was Duel. Something had to do with like double or duel or something along those lines. And he didn't even he was ended up being like the last guy standing, but even he didn't know that whether he was a real person or if he was just a fake. And so it's kind of like sometimes quirks could ruin a person's life, and life would be a lot better if he didn't have the quirk. With this and JoJo, it kind of reminds me of even though this dude has a stand that can copy people, he can pretty much do it. So it's probably very versatile for more personal use rather than say it could also do well in a fight. But it's probably more versatile for someone that wants to do personal use, let me play a prank on my friend, or let me have you look like my crush so I can do God knows what to you, or something. He's still not happy. He's still kind of jealous. He's straight up jealous of his own stand, as we saw earlier in the episode with Josuke. He was like, "Why are you getting on the ladder, you motherfucker?" It's interesting. I like that Araki did that. Anyway, so overall, he gives episode a 9.5 out of 10. Let's see whatever we have in store next, because next one's going to be pretty interesting, judging from that ending. Yeah. So hope you all enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you did. Subscribe if you're new. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter if you feel like it. Links are trucks below. And as always, come back for more. See you guys next time.
Body.